All right, so we're going to take a look at some more arm paths here. Uh, Not going to talk about anything with the lower half. Not going to really talk about anything with the glove. We're just going to mostly concern ourselves with just the throwing arm and the path that it's taking from hand separation, into the body getting to foot strike. So from hand separation to foot down, we're just going to watch the path that the arm takes and just see the similarities in the different checkpoints that everyone's getting to, regardless of their arm path or their delivery style. So we're going to see balls falling out of the glove, out of Garrett Cole. And same thing with Jacob deGrom. We can see that the wrist position is the same. So here we get to see the front side, and then here obviously the back side. So we notice the wrist position, top of hands facing the chest, palm in the ball is facing the back. As we extend down the mound, as things get extended down the mound, we can see that hand stays above baseball. Hand is staying above baseball, and the ball is still facing the back. Ball is still facing the back. Hand on top of the ball. Hand on top of the ball. We're in our scap load now. And we're right before our front foot strike. So you see that as we get into foot strike, we're then having that hand flip above the elbow for the very first time. Right as we get in the front foot strike, that hand is flipping above the elbow for the very first time. Before that, the hand remained below the elbow until the scap load right before foot strike. Are we getting this thing parallel? And then same thing here. When this does get parallel, right about here, you can see it's right before foot strike, because the reason that it is parallel is because it's going from down to up. 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 Next, we have two more guys who we're going to see are slightly different with their approach of how that ball falls more straight down out of the glove, as opposed to slightly back and out of the glove like we saw with these guys. I guess deGrom is pretty down, but still has that slight angle. And then Cole's slight angle versus straight down. Versus straight down. But then we can still see that the hand, or I'm sorry, rather the wrist and the hand are still in those same positions. Top of the hand, chest. Top of the hand, chest. And then the ball and the palm is facing the back. The ball and the palm is facing the back. So for righties, that means the ball is facing first. And for lefties, that ball is facing third. And then that ball stays beneath the elbow with the wrist in that position for the entire time the arm goes through its arm path. and we can see the arm path here is more slightly behind the body, stroking it up that way. Boom. We see on the elbows are working together, getting into the scap pinch, getting into the scapular load, getting the glove ready to finish. And we can see the very similar movements here as well, where that wrist does not want to deviate from its position. So that way when the hands do get parallel with one another, it's in that scap load. It's in that scap load. And it's right before the front foot hits the ground, which is when hand flips up, right before foot strike, right before foot strike, right before foot strike. Hand slipping up as the back hip's driving forward. Separation, 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 separation. If the hand's flipping up early, we're not going to be able to get this whip and get that throw out front. Get that throw out front. Okay, so now we're going to start to shorten these arm paths up a little bit with these next guys. Make them a little bit more compact, a little less movement. So we're going to see that the ball, when it's coming out of the glove here with Woodruff, the bend of the elbow and the throwing arm isn't going to decrease, or I'm sorry, rather increase beyond much more than this. So it's not falling down like we just saw with Hunter Green. You can see it's more of just a here. But this elbow to wrist is still the same positioning as we see over here. Elbow to wrist. It's relaxed. It's dangling down. Down, 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 down. With the wrist in the same position, with the ball facing his backside and the top of his hand facing his chest side. And then as he proceeds through his arm's path, which is here, he's getting into that scap load. He's loading his scapular muscles. He's pinching his shoulder blades together to load the arm up. And where do we want to load the arm up? Boom, to right here. Now is when things get parallel with the ground. Now is when the hand, wrist, elbow, and shoulder get on the same plane because of the fact that the hand is flipping up. And when is it flipping up? Right into foot strike. Right into foot strike. Right into foot strike. So that way we're creating separation. Hand flips up while the back hip drives forward. Hand flips up, backside drives forward, creating separation and whip. Ability then to rotate out in front. Ability to rotate down. Ability to rotate with the body and the arm as a passenger. So then we get even more compact than that. And we got Dylan Cease and Spencer Strider. So we'll take each of these guys from the top of their leg lifts through their hand separation, and we can see something is slightly different now. We can see that the ball is more in line with, if we had to put an object to it, we could say like his knee, his front knee. Or maybe we could say the top of the hand is more towards second base. Top of the hand more towards like shortstop depth. And because of this wrist position, that is determined by how their arm is going to move, their arm's path, how the arm gets up to its flipped position at front foot strike. So if we watch as we take Strider through his movements, he's going to come right to where, very similar position that Dylan Cease is at over there. Very similar positions as well with that throwing arm. Continue to be in similar positions. And more. Boom. And boom. All the way through. Right? Like, very much similar deliveries because of how their arms want to work. Their bodies throw the ball, so how their bodies move, their arms are going to need to move this way. Boom. But again, that hand is not getting above that elbow until it's time to throw, as it's flipping up the throw. The arm is a passenger. The body is the car. We can't have the arm, the passenger, get outside of the car. We need to take the passenger with the car. So as the car is moving, we got to be bringing it with us. We don't want it to be going the opposite direction as where we're trying to go. Boom, boom. And then we got another guy with a similarly compact arm. And same thing, we see how that ball is more facing home, top of hand's more facing second. And that makes his arm path, arm stroke, whatever you would like to think of it as, more compact. And just still hand staying below elbow until almost foot strike as those scaps are loading together, holding that glove from wanting to open up. Then it flips up just to continue flipping around as the shoulders now rotate. And then even if we have lower arm slots, these things still hold true. Ball's falling out of the glove, ball's facing his back, top of his hand's facing his chest. When the hand does get above the elbow, it's because it's flipping up right before a foot strike, The ball is a part of the delivery. We don't want to leave it behind. We take that, a guy like Diaz. Boom and boom with where the ball's at. Boom. Boom. right? Like completely different guys, completely different deliveries, but the arms are just following very similar paths, and that's why they've been around in the game for so long. We can go with more lower slots. Okay, where's the ball facing? It's home. Top of hands more towards that shortstoppy direction. If we look between the legs here, we can see same thing. That ball is facing home. Top of hand to second. Oops, wrong button. Boom. Right at foot strikes when the hand's flipping up. Right at foot strikes when the hand's flipping up at foot strike. Boom. And boom. So getting that trunk through even with a low slot. Boom. Boom. So noticing the guys that got that low slot, where's that arm going mostly? We got a lot of scapular ability to get that arm retracted deep into our scap. Deep into our scap. Another low guy. Where's that ball? It's towards home. Top of the hands towards shortstop. But he's getting a lot of that arm being able to retract back into his scap. Just the same. So then, oops, right as it foot strikes current, it's flipping up. Flipping up. Parallel with it, flipping up to continue to rotate out front. We can look at even lower slot and see a lot of the similarities with how the arm is going to want to move. So as that ball is falling out of the glove, we can see that it's wanting, we can see the top of the hand is going to be towards third, ball's going to be to first. But then again, it gets really retracted back in that deep scap. And we can look at that hand up there. Add this coming through. We're getting back to that top of the hand towards third, ball towards first positioning. And there's that scap pinch again. Right there, coming in that load. And where's that hand? It's back to getting back on top of the ball, above it. So then right at foot strike, boom. He's flipping up into his 90. And down here, 90. But his trunk is tilted so that it all agrees with itself. To still be able to come through out in front with his trunk tilt. Oh, I forgot Brady. Sorry, dude. So we'll finish up with him. Ball's falling out, same way. Ball in his palm towards first, top of his hand is third. Elbow's the reason it's coming up. Loading it up. Loading it up. And so right before a front foot strike, then it's parallel, then it's flipping up into foot strike. Flipping up into foot strike. Flipping up as the foot's landing. Flipping up into foot land. Foot plant. Whatever you like to call it. Boom. Boom. And this is the first time we ever see a ball facing us. Boom.